Peace sells, but who's buying? Definitely not Yoru. But hey, what's up guys, it's Red here with another Yoru video, all about Yoru potentially being the final villain and all the things that could point to it. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below and make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help me reach 2K sometime soon. Or if you already did that and want to help me out some more, you could super chat me or become a channel member. So anyways, let's just get into it. Actually, side note, I'm doing a Q&A for my second channel anniversary on September 4th. So go check out this community post and or, you could leave it in the comments too. Just say that it's for the Q&A. Any questions you want me to answer, literally anything. And also check out this Kagurabachi podcast, the Kamunabi Headquarters. I'm in it, so please go show them some love and support. Now, why do I think that Yoru could be the final villain? Well, there's a couple things that just point to that. Like what Lil D said about the prophecy changing, which I'll get into that after this. Cause right now, what I want to talk about is that Yoru could just not be the final big bad. I kinda got this thought from a convo I had with the GOAT Starkey, but because the series has so many unanswered things, it's very hard to predict what's gonna happen next. For all I know, Pochita turns out to be the final villain and whatever. Death could still be the final villain, public safety, and maybe even the Devil. Who knows? Not me. I only want to bring up the possibility of Yoru becoming the final villain because of what we have right now and how everything is pointing right at her. So let's just start off with what we do know. Well, one thing we do know is that Yoru is very strong. Like, she could conditionally beat a primal devil. Which I doubt that Falling is dead, maybe. But right now Yoru is incredibly strong due to the fear of war increasing thanks to nuclear bombs being reinvented, and most likely there is a new nuclear weapons devil. Also, a side note, if a new devil has appeared, what if Pochita throws up the old nuclear weapons devil? Do they coexist? Will some sort of D4C thing happen if both devils appear in the world and they kinda fuse, maybe? Would Pochita throwing up the previous one make the old nukes that were erased just appear again? Let me know in the comments what you think will happen if the old and new nuclear weapons devil happen to appear. Anyways, Yoru got another power boost and is doing whatever she wants. Well, Lil D did say that she was apparently building up an army of strong devils to either turn them into weapons or just have them rampage. Which I might doubt, maybe, cause Lil D's actions before showed that she was using devils to cause chaos. So maybe she told that to Denji to get him to believe that Yoru is the one making other devils attack. But with the information we currently have, even if it's unreliable, Yoru is out there making an army of powerful devils to do whatever she wants. We do know that Yoru is planning on something worse than the extinction of everything thanks to Asa. And this one's reliable since, Asa and Yoru share the same brain. Though Lil D said, and I think so too, that Yoru's goal is a never-ending war, specifically one without death. And like Lil D said, an infinite World War II, which would technically be World War III, but World War II was erased from history by Pochita. And that's pretty much all we know about what Yoru is up to right now. I think that we'll get to see her very soon, maybe in chapter 213, or maybe within 5 to 10 chapters. But outside of that, let's get into some speculation. So, like Lil D said, the prophecy changed. Through all her efforts to stop the prophecy, apparently it changed and became worse. AKA Yoru is the one who would bring the apocalypse. So, there are 3 options in this scenario. One is simply that the prophecy really did change and that Yoru will be the new quote-unquote Great King of Terror. This one's pretty self-explanatory. All the things that Lil D did to try to stop the prophecy only made it worse, because all it did was make Yoru even stronger. Yoru's strength was able to change the prophecy, maybe because her raw power and destructive capabilities is what was needed to change the prophecy. But I'm personally starting to doubt this one. Like, Lil D is too unreliable to take her word for, in my opinion. Plus, like, what will the prophecy do? Is it a new prophecy, or does Yoru just take the place of death? Like, if it's a new prophecy, did it make it so that death would inevitably be erased and Yoru would cause the Infinite World War II/3? Like, I just think that it's too early to assume that, since death is pretty unreliable. The second option is that the prophecy was always about Yoru. I said this in my previous Yoru video, but in Chainsaw Man, the original Nostradamus prophecy is cut off, as the full one is this: the year 1999, 7 months. From the sky will come a great king of terror, to bring back to life the great king Anglumois. Before after, Mars to reign by good fortune. So, as I said, maybe the prophecy was always about Yoru. Fujimoto just cut off the OG prophecy so that we don't get too suspicious if you don't look into the real prophecy from Nostradamus. So, starting from the top, the first line is about the date of the event, aka July 1999, which is the current date in Chainsaw Man, or it's almost that date. I want to change the meaning of the second line. I think that the Great King of Terror is actually the nuclear weapons devil / just nuclear weapons in general. One reason is that you could call nukes the King of Terror, as they really gave Yoru a huge boost in fear, aka strength. Not only that is used as evidence, but the quote-unquote from the sky part fits with nukes, as they're dropped from the sky through planes. We even see this in the series. Nuclear weapons could be the true King of Terror due to falling from the sky and generating huge amounts of fear for Yoru. Line 3 is hard because I don't know what to apply it to. I want to say that the Great King who could be brought to life is actually Nayuta, or the Control Devil in general. I don't know if this is the case, but it said so in the Chainsaw Man wiki, as apparently Anglumois, I actually tried to pronounce it this time, is somewhat an anagram of Mongols who were conquerors, aka they were all about conquest, which conquest was the OG horseman that the Control Devil is based on. So yeah, that one's pretty iffy, so it could be something else that references, like, I don't know, someone getting revived. Now, in my opinion, the most important line is before after Mars to reign by good fortune. Now, that one is completely obvious. Mars is the Roman god of war. This line is straight up telling us that Yoru will reign. Hell, Yoru even referenced Mars with the painting Mars Resting by Diego Velázquez when she was first introduced. So basically, the real prophecy could explain that maybe it was always all about Yoru. But now, here's my final option of how the story could go. The prophecy was never real. Maybe it is real, but it didn't change. It doesn't matter because Lil D will continue to do whatever she wants. Maybe she said that the prophecy changed because it wasn't real, and she used the quote-unquote change as an excuse as to why the world didn't end when it was supposed to. I mean, the future devil did predict that a bunch of people would die when the prophecy was supposed to happen. But maybe it was just a coincidence. Who knows? Like, what if Yoru just attacked the prison, or even Death was the one to do so? We literally have no reason to trust Lil D at all. Like how I said in my most popular video, Death is the one behind most, if not all, the events in part 2. She shouldn't be trusted. Like, she planned on having Pochita come out at the sushi restaurant, probably to make Pochita and or Yoru stronger. Lil D was the one who had the idea to go to the restaurant. She was also the one who had Nayuta's head there. The only reason why Denji isn't mad at Death is because she used one of her subordinates to create a degree of separation from herself. Death was the one who told Borim to bring the head of Nayuta. She's so manipulative that Death even manipulated the reader. We think that she might be telling the truth, but she's a devil. Devils never cry. I mean, they may cry. I mean, they lie. Fumiko even brought it up. We just can't trust Lil D. That's why I think the prophecy might be fake, or at least the same as before. Death is just a liar. She's lying to everyone. We shouldn't trust Lil D. We shouldn't trust public safety, and we shouldn't trust Yoru. At this point, I think that they're all gonna be the final villains, just wanting to get the power of Pochita. The choice that the Fire Devil told Denji that he has to make is to choose between those three. It's like an SMT game, where we got the Law, Chaos, and Neutral routes, and Denji is the Messiah, like the SMT protags, who have to choose between them all. But, you know what will happen? Denji will choose to go on his own path. Probably the true neutral ending, like in base SMT5. Honestly, Yoru could be the final villain, just like how everyone else is also the final villain at the same time. If anything, Yoru is the final villain for Asa, or something like that. I don't know. And like the Rapture, no man can know what day it would be. Only God knows. Just like how no man can predict the ending of part 2. Only Fujimoto knows. Obviously, we can predict stuff and be right or half right in things. But we can't predict the exact way things will go because we just don't have the information. Me or anyone else trying to predict the end of part 2 just can't get it right because we don't have the info. It's like trying to predict Makima's goals in part 1 while barely having the knowledge up to the end of the International Assassins arc. You wouldn't have been able to predict what Makima wanted because Pochita's erasing ability wasn't a thing we knew at that time in the story. So yeah, I can try to predict all I want, like this whole video's idea is about that, but I can't always be right. So hopefully your future self can forgive me if I was completely off the mark when the story gets to the part I'm trying to predict. I and everyone else just don't have the information. We can only fill in the gaps with our own speculation. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video to leave a like and maybe enough for you to subscribe to my channel. Make sure to leave a comment about what you think and stay tuned for the next poll for my next videos. I might make 1 or 2 vids without the poll, but whatever. Thank you Demencia for being a channel member and staying longer than a month. And you could join Demencia here if you become a channel member. Tier 2 members get a full shout out by the way, just like how Demencia got it. Anyways, thanks for watching.